Freedom has finally come for Niger. After months of battling with France since the coup, the French President Emmanuel Macron has finally admitted that he's going to evacuate his ambassador and some of their forces out of Niger. This is such a big win for Niger. And you know why? Because the French president had been adamant that they will not lift a finger, that they will not move, that they have every right to be in Niger, that their interest in Niger and the people in Niger will be safeguarded at all costs, and that the military junta are an illegal entity and he only recognizes President Mohamed Bazoum. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Take it to the beginning where it all began. So in July, the military junta ousted President Mohamed Bazoum from office. They accused him of, among many other things, economic mismanagement and being a puppet and an ally to the West in a detrimental way that was harming the economy of Niger. If you doubt me, Niger provides or supplies France with at least 20% of the uranium needs of France. But electricity in Niger is at an all-time low. Only 20% of Nigerians have access to electricity, while Nigerian uranium is being used to power and light up France. And it was just very, very controversial why the president of France was adamant on protecting and advocating for President Mohamed Bazoum, or rather the ousted president. He kept saying that President Mohamed Bazoum is the legitimate leader and they're going to do everything they can to reinstate him in power. By saying they are going to do everything they can, it means military intervention. France tried to invade Niger. That is out there. They tried to invade Niger through airstrikes, and they went to Algeria to ask for permission if they can use Algerian airspace to do that. And Algeria, being a good brother to their African neighbor, Algeria said, no, we're not going to be part of a bloody and messy invasion on our continent. We don't want any part of this. Niger has the ability to deal with its internal issues and reach an amicable conclusion and solution. And so it advised France to seek mediation and to have conversations, but they were not going to involve themselves in a military invasion. When France realized that Algeria is not going to help them, they knocked on the doors of the other puppets in the region, which is ECOWAS. ECOWAS, being very blind to the fact that the same fate could befall them with France, they said, okay, we're going to do it. We're going to threaten Niger with military invasion. And true to their word, they came out and they said, if President Mohamed Bazoum is not reinstated in power, then ECOWAS is going to invade Niger. And little did they know that those days are gone. The days where Africans stood on the side when NATO invaded Libya and did what it did to Libya and brought a stable country down, those days are over. All Africans came out, I don't want to say not necessarily guns blazing, but all Africans just looked at them like, what is wrong with you? Of all the problems you could solve in your countries, in your respective countries, you decide invading Niger is your key priority. Of all the issues you have as ECOWAS, you decide invading Niger is the issue. If anything, you should be standing in solidarity with Niger, because Niger has broken free of its oppressor. And if you doubt that, when the military took power, the people came out in the streets dancing, celebrating. They burned the French flag. They went to protest outside the French embassy. They just want France out of their country, because only they know the pain and suffering that France has brought on their country. The president of Guinea has said before that the democracy that is being touted as democracy in Western Sahel is not African democracy, it's not Western Sahel democracy, it's French democracy that has been forced on them. And clearly it's not working. Dr. Arikana Chihumbori has spoken before about La France Afrique and how your resources belong to France. Your money is deposited in French reserves. You know, military operation exercises, weapons, you get them from France. It's almost like you need France's permission to breathe. And these people are saying, enough is enough. Why can't you stand with your brother? And when the heat became too much for ECOWAS and France realized nothing is going to happen here, they said, we will not leave. They said, we will not leave. You want us to leave? That's the last thing. We are not going to leave. We're going to stay put because we don't recognize the legitimate leadership of the military junta. We only recognize President Mohamed Bazoum, and he's the only one we will talk to. The military junta said, you tried the wrong ones. We have time for you. We have time for you, right? You've oppressed us for the last 40, 50 years. My friend, we have time for you. And now it became a cat and mouse game where they were intercepting, like if they bring food at the French embassy, they intercepted, like nothing was going in, nothing was coming out. And I did a video and said, it's only a matter of time to see who will blink first. And I said, France is going to blink first. You know why? Because they're going to face backlash back at home. Because also, France has its own problems. It's not like it's a saint. They're going to face backlash back at home because the people that you're insisting should stay in this country that they deem unstable, they have family back in France. They don't want to die for a cause that they do not believe in. The people of Niger want their freedom. They're willing to risk everything. But a French diplomat who's paid thousands and thousands of dollars to push paper and make unfair risk assessments about a country and ensure that France continues to oppress the country, do you think they're willing to lose their lives and everything just for the sake of French dominance in Niger? Of course they're not. And just the other day, the French president gave up to pressure and said their diplomats and some of the people going to leave Niger. That is the first step. Do not be bamboozled by this. This is the first step, but we are so far away from victory in Niger. So far away. Freedom is still very far away. Freedom will only come when France now says, we are officially releasing you from the economic jail, economic neocolonialism that we had put you under. That is when Niger will totally be free. We want to see a total withdrawal of French forces in Niger. If Niger wants help to fight insurgencies, to fight terror, they will ask for it. If Niger wants help, you see that ECOWAS that was very willing to invade them, they should be there to help Niger to fight internal insurgencies. That is when you stand up with your brother, you know. We want to see Niger being able, and many Western Sahel countries being able to hold their money in their own countries, not depositing that money in French reserves. We want to see a complete disassociation of military exercises between Western Sahel countries and France. You can buy military from wherever you want, equipment from whoever and wherever you want, and you can do drills and trainings with whoever you want, whoever you see fit for purpose, who can help you fight the insurgencies in your country. We want to see a situation where Niger's uranium is priced properly in the market so that that money can come back and ensure that rural electrification projects are done across the country so the people of Niger can also have light. These are the things that we want to see before we can say Niger is finally free. We want to see Niger being free of having to pay for infrastructure that the French developed so that they can be able to ship slaves and steal resources. Many of the Western Sahel countries where France built infrastructure, they're still paying for that infrastructure despite the fact that France built that infrastructure to be able to loot and oppress these people, which they have done for years and years on end. Freedom is so far away, but this is the right step in the right direction. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again next time.